Hey everyone, and welcome to T-Chat 27. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so happy to be coming on today and speaking to you about the upcoming week of around the time of August 16th to August 23rd. What an incredible week we are moving into. I am so excited to speak about the energies and general messages and intuitive potentials coming in for this time. As I have looked at the charts and the transits coming in for this week, I have spotted a few surprises, and intuitively I felt a few contradictions as I was coming into this week, which I am now kind of understanding in a different way, and I'm very excited to speak to you guys about what is coming up. For those of you listening to this T-Chat on YouTube, there's going to be a full version of it over on Patreon, which will be much longer, but there's a snippet of it here on YouTube just because I wanted everyone to get a little bit of these incredible messages. But the long version, along with all of the other spoken topics, will be over on Patreon, which I will link below and in the top right-hand corner right now. So let's dive right into these energies. So first thing that we need to talk about for this oncoming week, this is one of the fieriest times of this year. This year lacks quite a lot of fire element, okay? It was a very earthy year. We have all of the outer planets in dark feminine signs, Saturn in Capricorn, Uranus in Taurus, Neptune in Pisces, and Pluto in Capricorn. These are all very antithetical to the fire element, okay? So as we've gone through Cancer season, as we've been through that watery time and we moved into Leo season, we suddenly sort of got a fire lit underneath us to push forward and to understand our context in a new way and to understand the desires that we were feeling in a totally different yet appropriate and contextual way. So we've had these sort of minor shifts in purpose, minor shifts in motivation coming in so strongly this entire Leo season. And this is really going to be crowned this week, okay? Why is that the case? It's because we are actually going to have grand fire trines for pretty much the only time this year. I'm going to look into Sagittarius season again and see if there are some there. But this is very small for this year. This is not something that we're experiencing much. So for the fiery people out there, for the Aries, Leo, Saggy people out there, this week is golden for you. This week is where you will really develop your energy, develop your motivation, develop what is pushing you forward. And even for the air signs out there, so the Geminis, the Libras, and the Aquarians, this is such an integral time of activating and actually putting action behind your needs, your wants, your purpose, all of that. So we have Mars and Chiron in Aries, we have Sun and Mercury in Leo, and we have the South Node in Sagittarius. Grand fire trine coming in, which is an odd experience, I will say, with having Jupiter, Saturn, and Pluto retrograde in Capricorn, having Uranus moving to retrograde in Taurus, having Neptune retrograde in Pisces. We have a sense of a begrudged fire trine, is what I would call it, because these are operating quite well. Mars has not yet gone retrograde in Aries. Chiron has. Sun and Mercury are very healthy in Leo, and South Node is in Sagittarius. So we have a pretty decently healthy fire trine coming in. And for some people, it's just enough to burn away or rid themselves of dead foliage. Okay, I've felt very strongly this year that there's a lot of dead foliage with the retrograde earth energy. A lot of us are holding burdens that we don't need to hold. A lot of us are carrying weight that we don't need to carry. A lot of us are doing too much actually this year. And this grand fire trine this week, I'm getting chills, is one of the grandest opportunities to burn away these burdens, excess weight, excess grudges, excess things that we're carrying away. So what an incredible week for a detox, okay? What an incredible week to exercise and sweat out some of these toxins. A great time for sauna, a great time for deep tissue massage, a great time for anything that will help you to release these long-standing, built-up, pent-up burdens and energies. It is more energy than it is anything else. So I want to really clarify this because we might also tend to think that this is too physical. With all the earth energy, okay, like what am I carrying? Is it like excess body weight? Is it, am I carrying too much debt? Am I carrying too much possessions? That could be, and I'm sure that everybody can relate to that to some degree. But I think that it's more so of an energy, because the fire energy is not really about possessions. It's not really about real tangible things. It's more so about our energy source. It's more so about what propels us, what pushes us, what gives us the energy to get through our day. So there's something in along those lines as well, I'm feeling this week, that we have to see where there's an excess. We have to see where we're over energizing somewhere, where we're over activating. Is it maybe like the middle of the night and you're getting like really energetic, feeling too energetic at certain times while also not being able to have enough energy when you need it. Things like that are going to become really apparent, and I think that this week is actually going to introduce what we need to make that better, okay? So having energy at the right time, knowing when we need to rest and when we need to activate, this does feel like we can really coordinate and calibrate this part of ourselves. So I want to break down this fire trine just a little bit more so we can understand how to really strengthen ourselves through what it's offering us. So the healthy part of this fire trine is very much the Sun, Mercury, and Leo aspect of it. A trine or a grand trine in a transit is always going to be an easy introduction. Things flow easily into place. We have an easy level up, a natural sense of progression. So with the Sun and Mercury being healthily placed in this trine, I think that we'll have a lot of conjunction between our mind and our vitality. So finally understanding how we need to realize our bodies, how we need to conjoin our mind to our energy output. This feels like the blessing of this fire trine, as a lot of us have maybe had incongruency between the mind and the wants of the body, the instincts of the body, the needs of the body, becoming out of alignment with what the mind identifies with. So what I've really noticed with that is a lot of people acting outside of their typical moral compass. So yeah, we've had quite a bit of debauchery this year. We've had quite a bit of people being different than their typical characteristics, really surprising people. And I think that this Grand Fire Trine really gives us an opportunity to remember who we are and to remember what we shine doing. Again, this is Leo. So our sense of like shining self-expression is understood by the mind, and it is then more formulaic with Mercury and more communicable. So we can really communicate our true intentions. We can really communicate our life force. We can really start to speak about the things that our heart has needed to say for a long time. So a great time to get things off your chest, a great time to strengthen the heart chakra, to use the mind and use your understanding of a situation to make your heart stronger. Really, really beautiful things possible this oncoming week there. Now let's talk a little bit about the issue of this fire trine. The Mars and Chiron in Aries is very frustrating, okay? Mars in Aries is wonderful and it's still direct, so firstly, this can be a good thing, and this trines the Sun and Mercury in Leo. So the good part about it is that also not only are we going to be able to connect the mind, but there's going to be sort of a lingering availability of direct action that we can again put behind it. Again, it's thoughts, it's action, and vitality all kind of naturally coming together. The Chiron side of it, though, makes this all a little bit too deep, I would say. Chiron retrograde in Aries, it's taking what should be a very simple reintroduction of vitality, a very simple expression of humanity and vital life force energy, something that should be super, super easy. It's taking it and it's making it a little bit more deep than it has to be. Okay, it's taking this expression or this kinship or this relationship and it's making it something too much, okay? I don't like it. I don't like this energy line very much because it's like these things that we're going through right now should be so easy, okay? Not many people should be having a horribly difficult time right now, but the Chiron retrograde in Aries, among all of this being slightly out of orb as well, makes it slightly less poignant in what it's teaching. So there's like a sense of begrudging. There's a sense of not feeling included. There's a sense of really questioning something that's very good and really thinking, oh, well, I'm really attracted to this person, or I'm really attracted to this goal. But how is that actually going to undermine me? Chiron is like undermining, and us asking ourselves, like, how is this going to undermine me? It can even be like paranoia in some senses as well. So it's easy to really question what is undoubtedly good for us right now. And we have to watch out for that, because that's to a degree is going to be illusory, also with Neptune and Uranus, retrograding as well. So the identification process, the how we go about realizing that something is off in our lives, these things are not the most trustable, precise things right now. So we have to take things with a grain of salt, definitely, with this time. There can sort of be a bit of a hysteria right now too, in certain senses. So we have to really be careful and make sure that we understand what's going on around us, and make sure also that we're not questioning things that are, questioning things for the sake of questioning things, investigating things for the sake of investigating things. There's something a bit too investigative about the Mars and Chiron in Aries. Again, it's like it wants to really envelop, and it wants to really push into and understand all aspects of this new frontier that a lot of us are interested in. And the thing is with the fire trine, there's not really a complete holistic or total understanding of the next new frontier. And through not having that understanding, I think that a lot of us will bypass it, and a lot of us will choose not to enter it, because we can't wrap our minds around it, and we can't totally know how we'll be received. We can't totally know what it might entail. And the Chiron retrograde in Aries is kind of like, well, I think that makes that dangerous, and I think that I'm going to play things safe. So I don't really think that now is the time to play things safe. I don't really think that now is the time to, this week, okay, again, we're talking about this week. I think that if there is a time this year to, take a leap of faith, to really let your mind enter a new frontier, it is now, okay? And we have to take that with a grain of salt as well, because we've got so many transits right now that urge us toward caution. And but there's a level of also knowing what we're meant for and what we're moving toward, and to totally prevent ourselves from that is to completely lose a sense of progression as well. So we have to really understand the middle zone of what like our new frontiers are representing right now, and how we understand that is just through looking at the momentum that we're carrying. What have I been doing for the last 6 months? What momentum do I have? And does that momentum seem appropriate for entering into this new frontier? That's really where all of our answers lie. There are some people, I think, who really have to allow themselves the freedom to just move into a new frontier right now too. It's one of the only times this year where that's super possible. And it might just be energetically. It might just be in the mind. It might just be how we're thinking about ourselves and thinking about our lives. That could be the new frontier. Again, this is fire energy. I'm not so much feeling like this is a new job or a new relationship or anything like that.